what was Elluminate. It's very similar to Illuminate, but easier. We're going to take you through kind of what you're seeing on the screen, and then we'll do a quick demo, and then we'll answer questions. So starting in the top left-hand corner, you see a picture of your students. So right under Nikki's face up there, hi Nikki, you see a little picture of Sarah, and if there were additional students in the queue, you would see little pictures of each student. Those pictures kind of change around and rotate. Whoever is talking at the time, their picture is biggest on the screen, so that's kind of new, kind of cool. The two buttons that you see below that, the talk and the video button, those are the two buttons that both the student and the advisor have to push at all times to either start talking or be seen, whether they're in the main room or if they're in a breakout room. So those two buttons are pretty important. Below that, it lists who's in the room, so if we had more people in the room, it would list all of their names. Right here, all of these are permissions, so you can give each student specific permissions or take permissions away. Right now, what we're looking at is what we call the lobby area of the virtual advising. So when a student enters into the lobby area, they all see this. So for example, if you had a student who was speaking inappropriately, you could just take away their microphone rights and just not allow them to talk. So there are some features on there that you can do. Down here, if a student is having difficulties setting up the microphone or doing the audio and you need help, they can type to you down here just like an instant message, so you can kind of walk them through. I imagine we'll have to use this a lot as students are getting used to using it and just kind of helping them get set up. But I think once they're set up and in it, they'll be fine. But this might be a good form of communication while they're figuring that out. At the top of the page, there's a couple different applications. There's an application sharing. I imagine we'll use this a lot when we're showing students where to find documents online. It'll take you into, you can walk the student through the steps to find the different things that we have online so they can follow along where to go. Next to that is a web tour, and it's very similar. We personally don't really care for the web tour option because as you're showing students around, it doesn't show the cursor. So if you're telling a student, click here, click there, click here, they can't see what you're pointing to. They can hear you talking, but they can't see it. So with the application sharing, it does the same thing, and you can kind of follow the cursor along. There's also an option to use load content. So if you wanted to share a document with a student, or if you wanted to send them something, a Word document or a PDF document, you can do so with the load content feature. We'll demonstrate both of those things here in a second. What you're looking at here is what we call a whiteboard. Put anything you want on the whiteboard. We put instructions here for now. But if you wanted to write something to a student or draw a sunshine or a pretty picture, you could do that here on this whiteboard. Next, we'll demonstrate how to make a breakout room. So if you had 3 or 4 students waiting in the lobby and you wanted to have a private conversation with a student, or you had an appointment with a student you wanted to do advising with, you would just go to this little tab here and create breakout room, which Sarah's already done. She's called it Home's Room, so we can keep using that one. So she's already created it. And then what you would do is you would pull yourself into the breakout room, and then you would pull the student into the breakout room. So now you're both in a different room. So since you've moved to a different room, both the moderator or the advisor and the student both have to click again on the talk in the video so that you can be seen and be heard in the new room. And same when we go back out to the main room, you have to click talk in video again. So that's the hardest thing really of this whole thing. And if they don't know that, if the student doesn't know that, you can type to it down. You can type to the student down here, click talk in video, and then it's done. So you can see Nikki up there. She's in the breakout room now called Hope's Room. And we'll give Nikki a chance to ask questions, and we'll kind of show you through some of the applications. So I don't know if she can hear me, so I'll talk to the microphone. Hi, Nikki.
Hi.
Do you have any questions for us today?
Yes, I do. I'm an English teacher, and this is my first semester. I'm wondering where I can find the curriculum guide for watching that.
She's asking for the curriculum guide for the English major. So Sarah will do an application sharing. This pops up, so you just pick which Internet Explorer you want to use. So we'll just use Firefox. You can use Explorer, that works too. So this yellow Academics and Major. Then scroll down to Center for Academic Advising and Student Success, Curriculum Guides, Arts and Sciences, and then Humanities. And then we would pull up the English guide, and we would also probably have her transcript pulled up on the other screen and talk about what she's completed already, what she still has left. But now, not only does she see the English guide, she knows how to get to it for next time. And I think that's a big problem that we have with our students is we have a lot of this information out on the internet. It's not top secret science. It's all out there on the internet. They don't know how to get to it. So this teaches them kind of the steps that they need to go through in order to get to those documents. So this is how we would show her how to get to a curriculum guide or anything else on the internet. So then when you're done sharing that part, you just close out of that. Ask Nikki if she has any other questions.
Nikki, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I'm thinking about adding a class later on in the semester, since you guys can see how heavy my class load is. How would I go about adding a class to the second school?
So basically what she's asking for, she needs an ad form. So we've already saved an ad form to our computer, so we want to share that form with her. She can't, for whatever reason, come into our office and physically get the ad form from us, but we can send it to her and she can print it out and she can take it to the instructor to have it signed. You can do this with any kind of form. So we'll just do a load content. We'll select whatever document it is that we want to send to her. Open it. Yes. And now it's sending it to her. So all she'll have to do is click on it, and then she can open it up and print it or save it or whatever she wants to do with it. So she's now received it. Once it says complete, she's received it. All she has to do is accept it. So those are the main features of academic advising. That's how we envision using it for the most part. I know there are a lot of other features that it will do, but those are the main things that I see us using it for. So if you guys have questions, I'll try to field them, or Andy can also take questions.
What about we have two monitors in several of our offices. How does this look on two monitors?
What I usually recommend is keeping virtual advising on one monitor with only like an Internet Explorer page up, and then keep all the other private documents like Knowledge and PeopleSoft on the other screen. It will only show the student one screen. So keep all the transcripts and all of that other private information on your other screen, email, whatever.
How long does a virtual advisor appointment last?
As long as it needs to. 5 minutes, an hour. Depends on the student. Whatever blocked off time for it.
Just view it in terms of, when you would view as a normal advisory appointment or on duty, the difference is you're now using web conference to like the interface as opposed to so right there at your desk.
Does this program have the ability to put videos on there, so this could also be used as possibly a virtual orientation?
Sure it can. What can it?
Yeah, it will take most of the popular video types, so Windows Media, Flash, QuickTime, those sorts of things. And you actually upload it through the interface, and then when you click play, it'll play for all the participants that are in the session. The only catch is they have to have something that will play that type of video.
And as far as doing like a group advising session, that's something else you could do. So say for example, you're in the School of Nursing and you want to talk to a group of students all at once. You can just either leave them all in the lobby or put them all in the same breakout room, because you can have more than one student in a breakout room, and just disseminate all of that information to a number of students at once rather than just one at a time. So if you wanted to set up 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, if you have questions, please meet me in the virtual advising group. So you could do a group session that way as well.
Where's the perfect implications behind virtual advising?
Same as they are in your office. You can do group advising in your office without getting into specifics. But of course, if they do start asking specific questions while they're in the group setting, you can just let them know. Either I can pull you into a breakout room, or we can set up another appointment to talk about your personal things.
And that's one important thing about the breakout rooms is that once you're in that breakout room, students can't put themselves into a breakout room. As a moderator, you have to pull people in there, and then it's a closed office. So people that are sitting in the lobby or happen to stumble in during an advising session. If you're in the breakout room, you can hear what's going on inside of that room, but not anything that's going out in the lobby, and vice versa. So students that are sitting in the lobby cannot hear the private conversation you're having in that breakout room.
Yes,
I have a few questions. Can you record this session?
you can. It gives you the option when you first log in. It'll say that it's not recording yet. Would you like to start recording now? We bypassed all that when we were setting up today, but you can record it.
And so if you record it, can you put it into knowledge, or where does it go?
Where does that, is it an audio file?
It's actually, it's a proprietary recording link that's actually hosted by Blackboard Collaborate. One important thing is the recording will only it will only record activity that goes on in the public space. So any private chat messages or anything that goes out in the breakout rooms is not recorded. And each recording has its own link that you can either, you could send it to the student if they want to review, I post it on a website, whatever you need to do.
And,
The idea of using the recording may not be as applicable. I mean, in terms of if you view this as the same thing as interface with a technology tool, then really when you're done with the appointment, you would just move on the other screen and you would have your knowledge notes and you would just be able to type those in there as you would for any other student.
I just think it's something for the purpose.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and this is saved in vacation, so you don't have to go in and take your knowledge, your notes are on the file.
Well, true. The key though at that point in time, just based upon now you have to distill through an entire, let's say it's 20 minutes, you're trying to go through the entire recording to get the nature of the conversation.
So is there just one main room, and I'm meeting a student, he's meeting a student, like we have separate?
You can do multiple breakout rooms.
But what about the main room? Is there one main room that everybody's in, and then I have to find my student and go?
Could each office have like a link to their own?
If it's going based on office, that will probably work the best. So, the College of Business has their own advising link and nursing has their own advising link. Getting much more granular than that might make it tricky on the knowledge side, or not the knowledge, the RUQ side, because it's easy when, you identify them as a nursing student, so you give them the nursing advising link. Being able to sort and tell, like, oh, well, do I give them this person's link from nursing, or do I give them this other person's link? It might get a little tricky.
It sounds like College of Ed could have their own link and then she would only have to fight Kevin and Kevin for the students.
Right. And you can each have your own breakout room set up ahead of, or once you come in, you set up your own breakout room, and then you can go and claim students as you need to.
But you talk about doing this remotely, maybe from home or some other place. Now, of course, PeopleSoft, you could get a PeopleSoft.
Well, you could, if you get a VPN, the institution would, for this project, they wouldn't give permission.
They'll give you permission also.
You would have, it involves getting, I think you have to sign your life away to get PeopleSoft access from home. But it is possible.
Which is awesome.
Does it work if a student has an iPad, or do they have to have a computer?
Yes. One of the features that Collaborate gained over Illuminate was this will work on iPads. You don't want to moderate a session from an iPad, but a participant can participate in a session from an iPad pretty easily. Works pretty well.
So you're using this now?
We have not actually implemented it with actual students yet, but we're up and running to start at any time whenever we decide what group of students we want to start with.
Are you planning on having like virtual hours, maybe like walk-in where they can come, or actually just assigning it by appointment?
We tossed around several ideas as far as whether we want to do hours for walk-ins or if we want to do appointments. And I think the consensus was that we wanted to start with appointments only and manage that and see how that goes so that we can get a sense of how long these sessions are going to take. And then maybe from there move on to walk-in hours when we're available for any questions.
We were going to go pretty grandiose at first, and then a presentation at OAA, we were told you that that would be go just all on duty and don't really control who's the demographic that needs this, you stand a chance of having the kid on the fourth floor call just when the lonely kid as opposed to walking over to the college business and so forth.
And I think
So,
that's our hesitation is that, what's the student living in the rooms all, if they be done using it, or how do you make sure that's something that we?
I think in our center, we've looked at, really looking at it specifically as appointment driven.
You can decide who you want to
Yeah.
be allowed to use it. You know, if you want it to be just adult students or students who work full-time, or just evening class students because they're probably working full-time. You can decide who you want to allow to have access to it. So,
And then we go into the
Well, not in that context, because that would be the broad, you're opening it up to everyone. Here's how we visualize this in our center. If someone calls in the future and has the need for a virtual appointment because they cannot come in, they may not even know virtual advice, they may just say, I need a telephone appointment. We can offer this, set up the appointment date and time, send them an email that has the link to the student access, and basically email would say, your appointment Thursday at 4 o'clock with, whoever the advisor is. And then the link would be there, and the student will access that, and the advisor would be waiting the other line. So we use Office Tracker as a way of keeping our calendars, but we already have established there a system to keep track of virtual appointments, so the advisor knows that the student's not going to be in our lobby, and they're going to be actually through this web conference tool.
And then when the student logs on, is there a way to make sure that that actual student, not somebody else? Like at least here, they have their ID card and they swipe in,
Sure, remember on the 3Q, how does that pull the information? Anyone remember from when Matt developed that in terms of, somewhere along the way, they get into the system.
Well, they're logging in through.
They were logging into
MyAcronym.
MyAcronym,
where they have
okay.
their password.
They were already authenticated through
So
MyAcronym.
they're authenticated through there, and it's, they don't even get the opportunity. I mean, normally when you use a participant link for a session, it'll prompt you to enter a name that's displayed. So Nikki just typed in Nikki. If they go in through the RUQ system, it's filled in for them. They're not even prompted. It fills in first and last name from PeopleSoft automatically. There's no
Every
chance.
student gets self-managed. I guess there's one advantage, because the RUQ also has the ability to put the cursor, over the ID number or what have you, and if it pulls up their SIM card picture, it's going to be through a webcam, so that at least that assists you in terms of vetting the students who they are.
But I mean, there are certainly other ways to authenticate. I mean, student ID number, similar to what like the Zip Support Center uses to reset passwords. I mean, they'll rattle off a couple of pieces of information that they can verify in PeopleSoft, and that's authenticated.
Who's training the students?
I'm a student. I know nothing about this, but I want a virtual advising appointment because I work full-time and I'm a new student. How do I get trained on this? When the advisor is going to be telling me how to do this point by point by point, which might be the first 15, 20 minutes of my advisor.
It could be, it may slow it down a little bit. Part of it is the whiteboard, the virtual advising sheet, the instruction sheet, is something that we always have within this as well too, to guide students.
And from the student perspective, there's not a whole lot they have to do. It's basically setting up audio, setting up their webcam, and then hitting talking video.
Talking video.
The advisor pretty much drives the session. They're the ones uploading documents, writing on the whiteboard, and then if they want to send you a document, you automatically get a little dialogue that says, "Hey, so and so sent you this document. Do you want to save it now?" So it should be pretty easy for the students to pick up.
If the student can get through setting up their audio, which those are the instructions there, and as you log in, it walks you through it step by step. If you can get through that part of it, and then once you get in and the advisor says, please click talk in video, then the student is basically done. They just sit back and ask their questions.
Could you go over again how you control who uses this? So like you say, you don't have a student involved here, wanting to come on FaceTime.
The question was, how do we control who
population? Who has access to it?
It's going to be more easily controlled through an appointment system. If it's on duty, it's going to be open up to whoever has access to the icon, and then you'll have no control. And so your college will want to develop a system in terms of when folks present these issues, do we then present a virtual advising system or appointment as an option to meet with the student? I mean, someone can call your office and say, I can't come in during the day, so anyone available in the evening. And then at that point in time, that may be an opportunity to present this as a choice. So,
just a case by case.
case by case. I mean, if you start hearing folks who are on internships, who are working full-time, if they're working full-time, they may be taking classes in the evenings, so lunch hour may be their only option. There'll be some certain key indicators that this system would be the way to offer an appointment to that student. Any other questions? If folks need some assistance in terms of next steps, please contact me, contact the ND